Have you ever heard this? If you have, listen.
You know why? Here for this one.
But you know why I'm excited though?
Why are you
Because
excited?
we have a drummer here today.
Yes.
Again. Returning Austin Baker back in the studio, bro. What's up,
That's
bro?
right. You guys ever had the guests on twice before? or
We
what?
actually no, we
Okay,
have.
Yeah,
We've
okay,
had
good.
You are second recurring, right?
You're
Okay.
but you're the first guest we've had as a solo guest, I think, because we had Joel Turcotte on twice, but he was the first one. He was like there was him, Charles Reed,
The panel.
and Michael
the drummer
Gonzalez,
panel.
bro.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the big D's of Austin, right
That's,
here.
that's an interesting little
Dude,
collection
Charles
of,
Reed,
minds.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Council of Drummers. Yeah, lots
Yeah.
of decisions to be made among that crew.
Yeah, and then he came back, and then we had Yvonne on the first guest episode, and then he came back on us. But you're the first one we've had where it was like
a
solo,
solo
which
Because you bring everything we need, man.
It's honoring. It's an honor. I'm flattered. This is incredible. Let's run it.
dude, you said like that. I was like you know we see each other around and stuff. And I'll come see you
Here and
when
there,
you're
yep.
when you're
Here and there
emceeing on
and
occasion.
everywhere, yep.
Hit you up
Exactly.
But it was like when you told me, you were like, dude, I was like, bro, I didn't realize like how much engagement or just how much like that this form of content for your followers was like. Like they like it was just because I guess it's different. Like they don't get this a lot from
yeah.
it.
It
Like
was
this
the first
longer
time posting
form.
some kind of like podcast format like
Yeah.
that with all of it. And then like everybody I saw after those clips came out, like it was never like, man, I love that drum video you posted. That was really, it was like, man, you're on a podcast. It's so cool.
like, whoa, you actually know
wow.
that. That's awesome.
This sounds and looks great and has the subtitles. And it's like, yeah, wow, you're on a podcast. Like literally, like that's all anybody was talking about. So it's like, okay, this is great. This tells me I need to either start my own or come back in this one for round
Bro.
two. Because I mean,
Dude, you got the energy for it, and like we were just talking about this about like just spreading the love a little bit of like
Yeah.
bringing in different things and trying out different styles of content, but
Yeah.
also just sharing each other's shit,
Yeah.
because we're a community, we're homogenous,
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Gotta
well,
help
dude,
each other out.
And I was going to tell you this too. I appreciated you sampling out your own clip
Yeah.
from the last one. And I don't know if you know this, bro. That clip, I had looked, and as of like last I checked, the most viewed reel we've had was that clip.
blew up.
We had one with Joel that got like 27,000. That was the hot take controversy one.
yeah,
But
okay.
like just overall, like that one, so I was like, dude,
Yeah.
hell yeah, because it's like
interesting.
no, it is. It's a very dude. We were talking about this before you got here about just the algorithm and how
It
how
changes
weird it
every
is,
2
dude.
weeks.
Yeah,
Dude, it's a constant thing that like if you want to do this like for full time and have that be your full time job, which it's not for me, but it's
Right.
like if you want to do that, you literally have to study the changes in the algorithm, which is like every week or every 2 weeks they make some drastic change, and if you don't keep up with it or are constantly studying, they literally have channels
Yeah.
that are designed to explain the algorithm
like-
updates for this week in
like,
2025. It's
Here's
like,
the new rule. It's like Bill
Yeah.
Maher. He's going like, all right, new rule. This
Yeah,
is the new like thing you got to
exactly.
stay
What
on
it
top
is
of.
they figure out that when you crack the code and start having something that works, they
fuck this
immediately
guy.
figure out, nope, we're gonna figure out how to change that code and not make this consistent. Like it'll work for a while, but then all of a sudden, what was working and consistently working stops working.
Yeah.
suddenly, and it's like okay,
well, and
cool.
it's dude, just taking a scroll down like your feed, bro. It's crazy because you'll have some that have like a couple thousand views, and then you got a million.
Yeah.
And like
It's
couple
it's
100,000.
random. Yeah, the last
And then
one
1,000, a couple thousand.
Last
you know,
one I
it's
got
like-
like 4-something million views of it, like a chainsaw.
You got 4
solo
million?
of a
Dude.
chainsaw.
Was that your
solo
best?
When Jackal came? Yeah, that is my
And
most
it's-
viewed. But like Jackal came to Buck's backyard, and the dude did a chainsaw solo in the middle of their song.
Was that like a throwaway
Lumberjack.
for you when you posted it?
Yeah, well, it's like
I
I
was
was
just
knew
like,
posting it. I was like, this is the kind of stuff that the most
Yeah,
out there
but,
stuff
like,
that's
not
gonna
like-
pop off and go viral.
People are gonna
And
see
yeah,
that and be like, that's fucking cool.
yeah, and it's still getting blown up with comments every day, and that was like a month ago.
Can you pull that up? Is it on your? It's on your feed.
Yeah, it's on there.
Now I'm curious. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
what the
dude,
hell got 4 million?
I mean,
dude?
I find this as a hobby. I don't watch Netflix. I don't spend time
No.
doing that. When I like just making content, putting it out there, and studying
Austin Baker.
what's working and what's not working, and just find a way. Instead of like leveling up a video game character, you're leveling up these social profiles, which then
Yeah.
lead to actual money engagements and passive income too.
Well, that's what it is, man.
do it down a little bit, a little more, a little
Dude, congrats
more.
by the way on 9 years alcohol free, bro.
9
Let me give me
years.
some of
Yeah,
that
we
for
can
that, bro.
talk about that
Yeah,
too.
we can get to
dude.
that.
That's a whole journey. Yeah, right there in the middle. Have you ever seen a chainsaw solo? Put that on the screen, and then it's Jackal, this early '90s band that came kind of out of the hair metal.
Dude, I just saw this
riffraff.
reposted on Reddit,
it-
actually.
is it
Did
audio
you?
work?
Yeah,
There
like
you
a couple
go,
days
right?
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts. But yeah, the chainsaw basically has 2 pitches, and whatever key they're playing it pretty much fits in the key of the song.
I'm like-
so he's over there basically
I
just
want-
riffing on this
I
thing.
want to hear, but I don't know if the audio's not working.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there audio on it or?
There she is, yeah.
it
There
should
should
have
be.
been, yeah.
No little volume toggle.
Yeah, I'm not
There's
seeing
one.
the thing.
There's Timothy House, the guitar player of the
There we
Black and White Tees. Chain on it and everything. Wood chips
Oh
flying.
yeah.
And then he proceeded to saw that stool in half. But I didn't include that in the video, but yeah.
Dude, this guy's like the fucking Carrot Top of bands right here. Dude.
Dude, the tone is immaculate.
the Gallagher.
And that guy's got a NASCAR themed drum set back there. It's like the most ultimate white trash kind of get up you could ever have. It's awesome.
Dude, that's
Meanwhile, someone with perfect pitch is like, that's actually not the right key. And you're like,
Yeah,
fucking-
right.
Your chainsaw is flat, sir.
All these people are coming
Dude,
in.
right?
Then all these people chimed in. Like they had that guy Jesse James Dupree, the frontman,
Is that the
as a
guy
guest
with the
for,
chainsaw?
in the Tom Green show back in the day. And then
Oh,
he
yeah,
with
yeah,
that
yeah.
chainsaw like hacked up Tom Green's desk, and Tom Green was like super upset about
For
it.
you
Like,
Gen
it was
Zers,
visibly,
Tom Green is a
super pissed.
comedian.
I know, right? Yeah, I got to meet him once. When
Yeah?
I played on CBS Morning News, and like when I was like 20 years old, and Tom Green was in town doing his show, so I was in the green room
Played
with Tom Green.
With who?
The Zach Tate Band. It's from Houston area,
Okay.
kind of where I grew up in the Gulf Coast, cut my teeth down
And
there.
you were on CBS?
We were on CBS
Morning,
Morning
like the
News.
national
yeah,
morning
Deborah
show?
Deborah Duncan, man.
Was that
No,
like
this
your first
Houston
big
one.
time thing that you did?
No, we did Fox News before that in Houston. Like
Okay.
we had like a little.
I did
morning
local
set
San
with
Antonio
that.
with my band.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And
Those are
so-
some
Fucking
early mornings.
WOAI.
It is, bro. Yeah, we have to set up and by 7:30 a.m. to be live on that. And it was like, yeah, it was crazy,
Dude.
but super awesome. Because yeah, hanging with Tom Green, and I'm wondering like, is he gonna be like a normal guy in person, or is he gonna be? And sure enough, he was just in full character the whole time. Like, I'm Tom Green. I'm Tom Green. You know, everything he did, it was like he never breaks character.
Do you
even when
think
he's just
though
chilling. It's
that
hilarious.
when he is truly like by himself or with his like immediate close people that he turns that off?
He had a stand-up recently that came out. Was a big. He's like basically moved to a farm, and now he's just a farmer out in the middle of nowhere with his dog. He
Mm-hmm.
brought on stage at the stand-up, and like he seemed a lot more chill and less like, you know, Daddy, would you like some sausages? You know,
full Freddy got
dude,
fingered
I watched
mode, yeah.
I watched Road Trip not too long ago after having
So
not
good.
watched it in
So
forever.
good,
I
dude.
forgot, dude. Dude, with
golden
with the
era.
snake, dude.
Yeah.
Have you seen Road
I
Trip?
have not seen
oh my
Road
god,
Trip.
dude,
Early
watch
2000s
Road Trip.
comedy
Sean William
gold.
Scott, like young Sean William Scott.
yeah.
Dude, yeah, he's trying to get the python to eat a mouse and it won't eat it, and he's like losing his shit about it like throughout the movie because he's like trying to. And then I won't
you gotta
spoil
see
it,
it.
but you should
It's
watch
great.
it.
I'll have to check it out.
Dude, Tom Green, bro. I
But yeah.
opened for Pauly Shore one
Did
time.
you? Mm-hmm. Nice.
Many years
Sweets
ago.
in the juice.
Sweets in the
Yeah. I love Pauly
Dude, I
Shore.
went on the press run with him, and I'm like, dude, this dude is so pilled out right now,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
I was like,
Imagine. I feel like a lot of comedians are or have to. Like it calms the nerves, and you can see their kind of general disposition on stage where they're not like messed up, but they're in a super chill
Well,
mode for like putting on a stand. Like there's got to
Yeah.
be. I think prescription drugs and comedy go hand in hand.
There's
I
a
mean,
lot of
it's-
methods in place to you know, take the edge off.
which, hey,
for sure.
cool. Only headliner I ever worked with to this point that I wasn't allowed to go in the green room, which I was like, which was
Yeah.
at like River Center, which is. Have you ever had a headliner you weren't allowed in the green room with?
Yeah.
Who?
Eddie Griffin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Eddie Griffin, of
Legend.
course.
Yeah.
Dude, but it's
Eddie
like some of
Griffin.
these you're like, bro, like I'm on the fucking bill with you, dude. Like to me, like there's maybe a handful of guys I actually can say with certainty because I stood next to him at the Cellar one time when I was living in New York. Chappelle, that was one guy I lost my shit. But most of these cats, I'm like, bro, you're fucking Eddie Griffin or Pauly.
Yeah,
like you're
yeah.
not
You had your time, but you're still
like
not
yeah.
that real-
I don't feel like
Yeah.
you have the. I mean, you can, but like, should you? You know, like
that's a media
can
perk when you get on a bill like that. Is like, man, I get to I get to meet Pauly Shore and hang out. Or same with these people I've opened up with that Timothy Howes guy you just saw with the Plain White Tees. Like I'm opening up for John Michael Montgomery or Neil McCoy, and like afterwards in soundcheck, you're just hanging out with them. But then there's other ones that usually it's not the artist or that it's their management team that enforces that kind of thing. Like the artist usually really cool and down to earth, but just to avoid like swarms of people and like they literally have those stipulations in there for that reason. Even though the artists themselves is super cool and open to engage, they make that a hard and fast rule. Like, don't even look at them. You know what I
and
mean?
they might not even know that that's a rule that's being enforced. They like because like agents, management,
Don't
they
look
have
at them.
so
That's
much.
gotta be.
Yeah, they have.
That's gotta be
There's,
like
legit
they're
power
looking
that
at me.
agents have.
Like no, but I get that. But I mean, like, what agent is like? I don't know. Maybe you would probably know better than me, dude. You
Well, there
grew
was
up in
a whole
Hollywood.
thing that just kind of spilled with Burt Kreischer's manager, or like his agent, about him not being able to
That old
work with
drunk.
other comedians because their two agents, they had like a beef over something really stupid, and that resulted in them not booking certain comedians together.
Yeah, I just mean like staff at the venue and stuff. Like I talked to this lady that was like a host at our place, and she worked at Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion in Houston, and was talking about she was the girl that opened the door for them to enter the stage.
I
when
guess
they
it
were
could
coming
just
in.
be like house
and it was
rules.
like, don't talk to them, don't engage, like don't look at them, like they're not. And she said screw it, I did anyway, and just talked to everybody that came through, and they were always really super sweet and kind, and you give them the time.
Somebody I heard on some podcast recently was talking about going in the green room at the mothership and Rogan like losing his shit about it. It was some dude who wasn't like really known.
I've heard
I can't
some
remember who it
definite
was.
horror stories
But
of
I
the
was
Mothership
like-
green room.
That's the same thing. Like, dude, you go to New York and you go to like the Stand, like near Union Square or the Cellar or like wherever. Like everybody's just commingling, and like we're talking like the biggest people on the planet, and some open mic or nobody, and it's just, and I get it, it's New York and it's a different vibe, but Austin really has developed that vibe too. Like, you know what I mean?
Pretty
Like
quickly.
it's pretty. It's not uncommon to see pretty big people just kind of randomly around town. I know you
hanging on
know because
6th.
you're.
I saw Theo Vaughn chilling with an entourage of like 4 girls on 6th Street, and I just gave him a quick, what's up, man?
Did you hear he bombed recently on his special?
No, I hear he's saying a lot of crazy suicidal stuff or like nutso stuff like
He-
that.
I heard
mental
some-
health
He
crisis.
was
He's been,
apparently he
like-
recorded a special for Netflix recently, and it went like very badly.
I saw a clip that I think you're referring to where he was talking. Is like, I have no intent to kill myself. I'm not suicidal. I'm not like on stage. In
it's-
almost like an Epstein-esque
I think
way.
he's been going through it in a lot of different.
What is he's not fucking Trevor Wallace or who's the guy that didn't really fall off of a balcony?
Oh, Trevor Moore.
Trevor Moore.
Yeah.
You know Trevor Moore? Bro,
Yeah.
Trevor, pull up like one of his sketches, dude. Trevor Moore.
Pull up, You Can't
watch
Say This
him
on
and
TV.
you're like, they're gonna kill this guy, dude. And then he fell off of a balcony when he was drunk.
Whitest kids you know. You
Or
can't
did
say
they
this
say?
on
Did they
TV.
say it was suicide? May have called
No,
it
he
suicide.
fell.
They said he fell.
I remember the One Direction guy fell off a balcony.
He predicted his death on Rogan.
He did. Yeah.
Of course he did. It's the
Yeah.
same reason Candace
Predicted,
Owens is putting out like
Do I?
That's all crazy
Dead Man
stuff
switches
too,
right
bro,
now.
yeah.
She should be. She should be. That's actually.
The roof with a baseball bat. You wait for that
That'll
fuck.
be a sad funeral. Fell off your
It's
roof.
an old school
broke
Rogan
your neck.
studio.
This stupid fuck.
The roof with a baseball bat.
No, I've seen that guy before.
And he's-
yeah.
Dude, nobody. He says he's got some fucking really dark but
Yeah, that's from
hilarious
10 years
sketches
ago.
about like.
That's from an episode 10 years ago. Or
There was one on
Yeah.
like how to attack the White House or some crazy shit like that, and it was like the ways to do it. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
dude.
but it was like satire, so it was like the whole thing was, but he was that kind of guy, dude. It's like whenever you start, okay, yeah, here you go, 9/11. That's fitting because it's
this
9/11
is a great
recently.
one. This is a great sketch.
These kids, dude.
It's pretty gross.
I think I'd seen
Bro,
a clip of that.
We'll cut
yeah.
that. The whitest kids, you know, check that
Whitest
sketch.
kids.
But that's, dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah, well, the comedy world I feel is different in the music world per se, because music is more of a like everybody. There's a lot of ego in both for sure, but the music is more communal, and we like I feel like comedy is more individualist sport versus a collectivist sport, if you want to, go that. So there's a lot about like, the cutting order of pecking of heads and, you climbing the ranks of being, but it's like, and there's little cliques of people that are all in their same as we see and know, but it's like, it's more designed for that. So I feel like there's a lot more cutthroat and people like, going
it's
for the,
you're right. It's the individual, and he'll attest. I've said something to very similar effect before, as what you just said, which was like, just music is cooperative as an inherent thing.
It's more of a team effort.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like team sport. It's like golf versus basketball.
Yeah.
It's like you're, team,
participation is good in music, right? Like it helps. And I
Being
mean,
the
I guess if you're on an improv team or a sketch team,
that's where the area gets a little bit, murkier.
but in the stand-up realm specifically,
yeah.
I'm curious to hear your
Every
thoughts
man for
on
themselves.
the Riyadh thing. What did like the Saudi Arabia comedy festival? There was like a controversy about this. Did you not hear about this?
No.
So, a bunch of comedians went to Saudi Arabia and performed in Riyadh at like this big show for like the Saudi.
It was put on by the
government
royal. It was put on by the royal family.
Yeah, and like the guy that booked it, the booker was like the same guy that like beheads journalists and stuff. And that like Bill Burr went, Chappelle went, Louis went, like basically all my top and it's like there's been a big controversy about it amongst people, rightfully, because everybody's like, like there's like quite a few human rights like you're kind of whitewashing this regime by like validating them with this show and performing, and then like Bill Burr especially came back and he's like almost doubled down and like it's not that big of a deal, and it's like it made it even worse, I think, for him. I've never seen him get this. I've never seen him get this kind of backlash.
He's never
ever.
gotten this sort of backlash because every time he has gotten backlash, it's
Bill
been
Burr,
at the expense of a joke. But with this, it's at the expense of taking a gig, and he's just fully doubled down on like, you guys have blown this out of proportion. You've completely misread the scenario. You think that I'm over there, kissing shoes and bound down and stuff.
He's like, there were pretty women there,
Exactly.
so they have to be okay. There's pretty women. There's
what
not
it is, man.
slavery.
Saudi, as we saw, like has made Cristiano Ronaldo and all of these other players. They've taken from the soccer world and giving them record-breaking contracts that nobody's ever seen, and the most ungodly like offers to go play for them, right? And so it's a money thing too. You gotta wonder how much they offered each of those guys individually, which is like probably an insane, astronomical amount of money in comparison to what America
because
can throw
that's
it
where
in.
the real richest people in the world live.
And so anybody in their right mind that's gonna get an offer to that is gonna go do that and not even think about the repercussions.
Shane Gillis,
like, hey, how many millions are gonna do to just go?
Shane
hang
Gillis
in
didn't.
Saudi?
Shane Gillis, they came at him with a bunch of money. I think he said it was like $500,000 or something.
Well, Shane
and
is
then
more
they
plugged
doubled
in
it when
to
he
a
turned
lot
him
of
down.
Different networks.
They doubled it, and he still said no.
Because he's the spokesperson. He's on
respect.
Bud Light commercials now. He's got
He's
a
more
lot of
tapped
other.
into what people are wanting and how they're going to receive.
And he's making
certain
plenty
things.
money off the endorsements and where he's at. You see him in all these commercials now, movies. Like he's everywhere.
Plus,
now,
to him
so.
being a history buff, I'm sure he has a little bit more like. He has an idea of like 2020 vision of like, hey, this is how things are going to be seen and like how it's going to be received.
I compare it to like the Jack Black with the Tenacious D stuff about like how like Kyle Gass said a bunch of stuff at a concert and they got a bunch of flack for that, and then Jack Black basically, and Mr. Voice actor extraordinaire now has got all these Disney like Pixar and all these people like defending him. Like he had to go and take the safe route and say like, I don't
stay back
condone,
for a
I'm going to
minute.
stay away. I'm taking a step away from Tenacious D for a while to protect his contracts with these other major media companies. It's paid for the Jimmy Kimmel thing, everything in general. Like when you have these bigger names like breathing down your back, like you really have to be particular.
When you're not
like,
just representing yourself, but everything that you're working
now you're
for.
like a spokesperson for major companies. You're the voice actor of all this stuff, or you're this Bud Light commercial here, and it's just like, you're representing way more than just your own brand. You're
See,
part
and
of
that's
the bigger.
That's where you have to ask yourself, like, where do you, as
Draw
an
the
artist,
line.
exactly, where do you say, okay, this is, I can't, because I think I would agree. You like, at a certain point, you just need to like, you're trying to make a living, you're trying to survive, you're trying to like maybe even thrive, right?
Yeah.
But like guys like Bill Burr, for instance, and I keep saying Bill, but I should be throwing Chappelle in here. I should be throwing Louis in here. But some of the ownership is different. Like Louis, I don't think has been in, like he hasn't tried to act like,
No, and
like
it's also
pedestalized about it or anything.
It's
but-
also the audiences that each of those comedians have. Like Bill's audience is far more in like they
He's
share
like
his
an everyman
intensity.
dude,
Yeah.
like an everyman comic.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of his
Your
brand.
average, yeah, like he was in that one Dad's movie on
Old-
Netflix.
Old
He
Dads.
was really, really funny. His
He was
roles
in
that
Breaking
was
Bad,
good.
bro.
Yeah,
Breaking
it's-
Bad. He did F is for Family. Like,
And then Chappelle is just on that other level of like. He's
And then
more of,
Pete
like,
Davidson, we're like, they killed your dad, bro. Like, you're not mad. But he's like, I almost like, if I were him, I would have been like this. I'm taking this as like penance for what happened. This is my in my mind. That's how I would frame
it's
it,
almost reparations.
Yeah.
bro. I mean, I could at
in that
least get
respect.
that from that perspective. But like Bill Burr tried to act like it's not a big deal, and it's like don't act like you're like you lose the way you just lose the moral high ground, I guess, when you do something like that. Where I mean, there's literal slavery still in Saudi Arabia.
That
I mean,
and
like,
the reason why Gillis doesn't get flack for the other endorsements that he does, like with Bud Light, is because it's very on brand for him. Like him
keep drinking, America.
with Bud Light, hosting the ESPYs, like he's a big
Yeah.
sports guy. Like
Yeah.
that all makes sense to his character.
For sure.
Whereas with you know
Like
going
alcohol, you wouldn't do that, would
Yeah.
you? Would you?
No.
Exactly.
People have reached
See-
out for collab. Like beer companies have reached out about collabing on my channel, and I'm like, I don't know if you've seen, but I don't.
9 years
drink.
sober.
And I'm not
But
gonna
you're not
put
super
that.
loud about it.
Yeah, but I'm
But
not
you-
gonna
you-
put that like a beer stuff on my like music education platform for children. Like it's just not a good look.
See,
And
but that's
it's
what I'm
like-
saying. It's like that. There you go. Like
Yeah.
that goes to show, because it's like you are a man of like, hey, I'm trying to like make
I'm
things
an entertainer. I'm
happen,
in
but
the
it's like at a
bars
certain
more days
point.
of the week than I'm not, but just making my money there. So yeah, a lot of people associate what I do for a living with consumption alcohol, which they go hand in hand. I mean,
it's
my
an
main
environmental
job as a
thing.
musician is
Especially
to sell
karaoke.
drinks. Yeah, like.
It's like a prerequisite.
And that's just, like I talked about my musical hierarchy of time first, rhythm second, pitch third. I think there's a hierarchy of what we do as an entertainer. You're entertainer first, musician second, and then singer, drummer, guitar player third, whatever it may be. But you're entertainer first, musician second, and then whatever specific instrument third or whatever. It's like that's the order, like, because you're getting paid to
So,
entertain people, which sells more
can we-
drinks and keeps people coming there as opposed to the other bar next door, right?
Yeah.
And then that brings you to the musicianship level. It's like your job is to serve the music, not to just play your instrument, right? And know your role in that particular. So yeah, that kind of breeds in. That's my whole philosophy of that. Keeps me booked, keeps me saying no to more gigs than I'm saying yes to, is because that's what I put first and foremost. The entertainment factor, then how am I serving the music and whatever particular role
And
I'm
then
doing.
your ego
And
down here on the
then,
bottom.
and then the drummer. Then I'm a drummer after that, or a singer.
I wanna
after
show
that.
off
It's
or do something
entertainer
flashy.
first, musician second, whatever else third. And that's where a lot of people, I think, have it backwards. And that's that kind of misconception of, what is going to keep you paid and actually be able to make a living doing this stuff and not have to get another job to support your stuff, which like very fortunate to be able to do this full time now after I was an elementary music teacher for 7 years and, making more money now just playing shows
Elementary,
around
bro.
town. Yeah, K through 5, 7 years, man. It was
Sing like Mickey Mouse. Sing
thousands
like Mickey
of
Mouse.
children. Yeah, it was. But now, like sadly enough, it's a beautiful thing and it's a sad thing. Like that, I'm making more money just playing 15 to 18 shows a month while teaching private lessons at my place. Like significantly more money than my teacher salary, which is great, but also really sad that they pay teachers that terribly and there's really no room for growth, which is why I stepped away. I saw myself, I can't do this for 20 more years till I retire, so I'm not, why stay in it right now? Like,
It
I
also-
found a
Dude,
chance to
my
get out
friend
of there.
Daniel Escati, shout out, was the head director at Brandeis High School in San Antonio, which is like a 6A.
I've heard of them, yep.
It's a prime post. Like it's a premier post. It's in Northside School District, which is like the premier school district in San Antonio. So it's obviously it's like one of the biggest in the state. So to be the head director at one of their schools, I mean, that's guys,
You have to move
span
up
a
the
career
ranks.
20
Yeah,
plus years to get there.
Yeah.
And when Danny got it, I mean, I think he was probably like late 30s. So dude, it was crazy. And then he still gave it up because now he's working at Google and he's probably making,
Right.
and it's like, dude, it sucks because you do lose probably people And like teaching is a thankless job, right? Like it's very.
Yeah, man. I have
it's
a lot
not-
of thoughts on that. Basically, it's you have to be a masochist to want to pursue
Dude,
a
so do
career in public
stand-ups,
education.
bro. That's what we have in common.
You have to basically
masochism.
understand that like you're taking the abuse either from the parents, from the kids that are obviously disrespectful in all these ways, but it's also like it's the amount of money they get, especially a band director like that. They have to be at every Friday night high school football game, every Saturday competition,
And their
after
salary,
school
so they're not
rehearsals.
necessarily
And for
making more money
the
for that.
They get a stipend, which
Yeah.
is usually like up to 10 grand. But if you divide that per every paycheck, it's only like an extra a couple $100 a month, like
Yeah.
a paycheck.
Not nearly
which is
a reflection of the effort.
And they're literally putting in, instead of their 40 hours a week, which is their standard schedule, they're putting in 60 plus and not getting paid overtime. Like that's the overtime they get is that ridiculous stipend that takes their 50K salary to 60K. Like whoop-dee. But then they have no life outside. Like you really have to have a passion for that. And I never
doubt
wanted to do
very
that.
many of them make it, but every band director should be making six figures, dude. That
No,
that
exactly.
should be.
And what it should
And
be.
that's fair.
The sad thing is like a first year teacher is making the same salary as like a 20-year teacher. Right, there's a little bit of a difference. They increase the salary every year, but there's no reason
Right.
that a 20-year teacher shouldn't be making 20 grand more a year than a first grade. Or at
It would
least- at
incentivize
least.
teachers staying.
And so that's what happens. All the good and great teachers, they leave realizing they don't have to put up with this kind of abuse, and they have skill sets they can go make better money elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then what happens? All the poor to mediocre teachers stay. And they don't do any service to the kids, and that's why we have the public education system we do. And these kids can't read, they can't write, they can't do
Kid
basic
can't even
arithmetic.
read.
They can't write their own name, bro. I would literally read these 5th grade writing samples for the practice for the STAR test, and I'm like, what is this name? Like this is
Yeah.
like hieroglyphics on the name line. I was like, what does this even say? Like there's not even letters here. You're in 5th grade. How did you get to 5th grade? You can't even write letters. You can't spell
Dude,
your
it's
name.
Like who passed you?
That's the
yeah.
new thing. They don't fail these kids. They just push them on
Mm-hmm.
through because they're focused on having a 100% graduation rate at all their schools. And then that's not doing anything for these kids. It used to be, little Johnny, you don't know your multiplication table? Sorry, you're doing 3rd grade again. There's nothing you can do about it. But now
or
it's like,
summer school.
yeah, they make them. But now it's like these kids, they cannot read or write or think for themselves and no critical thinking. And that's what's leading to like, that's what made me also get out because I was disgusted by it. Even though I was the fun teacher that got to just do musical stuff with them all day, I'm still part of a system that says they put the interest of these kids first, but they do not. They do not care. And they're so unplugged from what actually happens in the classroom that the whole thing was just disgusting to me. And I felt like I was a part of a system that is doing a disservice to these children. So I left. And like, that's the sad thing. All my other really good teacher friends that I graduated with, they did their stint too, and they're gone too. They're in either real estate, Google, whatever else, because they actually have skill sets apart from teaching that they
Well,
can go
and you
make
can
more
still
money and
do
not
private
this.
instruction.
Exactly. And so I'd rather have a bigger influence on a smaller group of children than a small
And
influence
you
on a
the
large
freedom to
group of
create your
children,
own schedule, how you.
Exactly. I don't know more than 10 students really is what, I can only teach like 2 or 3 days a week. So it's tough, but with the gigging schedule, and I don't really want more than that. And I do it really not for the money, but just cause I really enjoy working with children and I have a very passion for like, I
What
feel a
ages do you
civic
work with?
duty. I was, K through 5. So I was anywhere from like 5 to 11. And so that's primarily the demographic.
So
I'm still
currently,
teaching.
as a private
I have
instructor,
2 adult students,
Okay.
right? That's more like I'm more prone to the beginning and the foundations of setting them up for success like that. But and I haven't even pushed for more students at my new spot yet because like I said, I don't really want to get overwhelmed with all the scheduling, and then these people get flaky here and there, and then keeping up with makeup lesson credits and all that. And so I really do it just because I like when I quit teaching and I wasn't working with children for a while, I felt that void in my life. Like I felt that you like be a hero to children. Like once you get a taste of that and they just love you to death, it's hard when that goes away and you don't really have that in your life.
well, and also getting to
anymore.
see
So,
them. Maybe not all of them, probably not most of them, if I'm honest. But like the few that maybe really take to something and
those
go
are the
with
ones
it,
that'll come and their
and
parents
you get
will
to
pay.
watch them progress
So,
and grow. And dude, and then you get to a point like, dude, buddy Mike Gomez, he's San Antonio drummer, pro, and he's like big time down there in that scene. He's like my drum instructor from high school. He was my drum set, but he's only a few years older than me, so he was in college at the time. But like he still is a teacher, dude. And this month, dude, this bro, he's had like 9 all-staters. I'm like, bro, I don't know what this guy's doing, but like to be able to like have that kind of impact, like
And to
And
know,
it's- that's
even
like-
flex on all the other teachers too. Like, look what my kids
Yeah.
are doing. Your kids
It's
ain't
like,
doing that.
hey,
There's
look at the
something
batch
about-
that I've put out.
And that's
Yeah.
where the ego part of the band director world, the tight knit world of music education in Texas, where everybody's really competitive. Like everybody flexes on everybody. Like, look at my kids versus what your kids
Yeah.
are doing, and it's all pissing contest. I don't really care to keep up with it. Which is why I like elementary. Your certification's K through 12, but I never had a desire to do middle school or high school. First of all, because of phones.
Yes.
And the fact that they have phones. Elementary, it was understood. They
There's
locked
more
them up.
curiosity with
it was
those
off.
kids,
and
too.
we had that little world in the walls of the elementary school for that 8 hours a day. Like we just had our little utopia there that was not affected by all the screens. And I'd keep my phone away too as much as possible because and there was something magical about that and the innocence of like playing musical circle games with children and stuff where there's no like technology and you're just doing the real stuff, outside of just what now everything's now curriculums are all on Chromebooks and the kids get issued their own Chromebook post-pandemic and stuff. So it was already bad before the pandemic, but public education after the pandemic is just absolutely abysmal. It's beyond bad. Like it's disgraceful what they're doing and making these kids. And now they just close all the schools in Austin ISD. Did you see that? They're closing like a dozen schools in Austin ISD, something like that. I don't know how
Permanently?
many. Yeah, they're cutting funding in a lot of those and they're basically shutting down a lot of Austin ISD schools because whatever the privatized education thing with the vouchers or whatever else, but they've significantly been cutting funding for these things over the years. And now
Not Westlake, probably.
And now, of course not. Yeah, it was like in the band world, like Leander, Westlake, Vista Ridge, and all those cats, like the West thought, like they pretty much rule the roost, and they're playing like graduate level pieces in like 10th grade kind of stuff, and it makes all the other band programs look like a joke because like I guess parental support, extra private instructors, all these other resources they have to make them as successful as they are. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of sad to see all these other ones who are trying their best and they go up and they hear like that's what they get to compare themselves to and they feel like they're not good enough, which is why I don't like the whole competition thing in band and music education too, because that's what like that turns music into a competition and they're like, we got to be the best of the best instead of like focusing on the artistry. And that also involves 6 months of working on the same 3 pieces of music to prepare it for that one little competition instead of spending that 6 months diving into everything music has to offer, and so
Yeah,
that
well,
whole
it's-
pissing contest of trying to be the best of the best with your getting like I don't understand that either. I like the little kids. They bring you like working with a whole classroom full of kindergartners, bro. It's just
Well, and
you
it's
can't not put a
patience
smile on your
required
face.
is for sure.
Well, at first you learn your systems. So once you learn your systems and learn how to, herd the cats, a little bit better, then it works. And then you have a cool, and yeah, just nothing but joy and just fun. And it's the sweet innocence of them experiencing something for the first time. It's like contagious. And yeah, I love my time there and I learned a whole lot. Like everything I learned from teaching and doing the music programs, like emceeing that and running a cafeteria full of parents, translated to karaoke stuff. I mean, learning how to just take control of a microphone and not be nervous and have the word
I was gonna
flow.
say that, dude.
That started from that, like running these giant programs where you have a whole cafeteria full of parents. And you got to, keep the program engaged and not sound like a scrub up there when you're, directing this music program.
Because
Bro, I
at
used
the
to
end
do
of the
that.
day, yeah, teaching is a public speaking job.
Yeah,
really.
It's customer service to the highest level.
gotta
I mean,
have
think
jokes,
about it.
dude.
When you're a server, you're
Bits.
responsible for somebody's dinner, right? And if it goes wrong, it's not the end of the world. But if you're a teacher, you're responsible for the most important thing in somebody's life, which is their children. And if you screw that up, you're going to either get a lawsuit or you're going to have hell to pay. Basically, there's going to be repercussions for that. And so you have to learn to be that ultimate customer service representative to take care of the future of these children and let the parents know that their kid is safe in this format with you and what you're doing. You're not indoctrinating their children or any of this other stuff that a lot of people may assume is going on, which there definitely is a lot of that in public education.
I was gonna
for
say,
sure, but,
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
as long as you keep your hands clean and focus on what's going on in your head classroom, then that's all fine.
Yeah, like it's like the ideologies need to stay.
But in Austin, education system is probably about 90% liberal women and angry liberal women.
You just
but
gotta figure out a way to be the parent's favorite teacher.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And as a music teacher, that was just by default. Like when somebody had a problem, it wasn't with the music teacher, you know what I mean? So like everybody just loved me to death, which was great. The kids thought I was some kind of celebrity because I have a big YouTube channel or something. They think I'm some kind of huge influencer.
You have a
or
YouTube
something
channel?
Like that. Yeah.
How many subscribers do you have?
30K, man.
Dude,
Just hit
congrats.
We're trying to get to
30K on
100.
YouTube, I know.
Help us get to 100 subscribers, folks.
Well, then you can monetize after 1,000, and
Is
then
it? Okay.
4,000 watch hours is the other thing. So that's a stipulation to think about. Like I
Okay,
got my
the
1,000
benchmark.
subscribers, and I was so stoked to monetize, but then it's like, oh no, you need 4,000 1,000 watch hours too, and that was at like 1,000 something. I'm like, why do I get that? And so a lot of people like the long form content, like these tech reviews that could be done in 3 minutes. They make it a 25-minute video of explaining a 3-minute thing. That's why, is because they want to have the watch hours and do all this extra fluff, and that's so annoying. Everybody's annoyed watching those things, but it's a machine that works and keeps people.
I was telling him that, dude.
Back in the day, like it was 10 minutes. Like every video had to be at least 10 minutes long because that's how you got ads.
And now shorts will get you subscribers, but not monetization. The long forms, like the short stuff, will get you a lot of people's algorithms flooded with your stuff and get people.
Well, it's also how you're gonna get the most like eyes through the shorts. Like most of the consumption like of this has occurred in those formats.
It'll pop off on a short.
But I was telling him we wouldn't like as like far as like for the podcast like strategy and stuff like for like on the back end stuff. It's like I was like, dude, we need to do more of these medium length clips. I'll probably try to sample one from this because like I think you gotta have everything. You need to have the longer form, but you need the shorts and then the medium length. And that medium length
episode
is where I think you can really get fans, man, because it's long enough to like establish some rapport maybe with a listener. Because I don't know it can be done in a short, but it's hard. It's very hard.
What did they give you
to get enough rapport?
90 seconds or 3 minutes now? 3 minutes now.
I think it depends on the platform.
And they change that all the time too. And once they change that completely, totally disintegrates the algorithm that was.
Because I know with TikTok, I don't know if they have a cap. If it is, it's fairly long.
Now they're starting to push out longer form content on TikTok, like 30 minutes plus of stuff is gets a lot more engagement too.
I see some of these things that like I'll see channels and they have like all these subscribers. I'm like, what? I don't get it. And I'm like, I'll watch some of the content. I'm like, it's like I don't know. To me, like what you're talking about, dude, there's like a salesmanship occurring here, right? Like, so you have to like with me and this and the show and for like what we do here, part of it is establishing a tone. Like this is a professional thing. Yeah. It starts with like the production quality we have, all those things together, and then the tone. And that's what I was going to say for you, especially with your emceeing stuff, is you have that, you've got that command as far as like a presence on stage. That's a thing that not everybody has. You see people up there and it's like, I say this about comedy, and it's kind of like what you're saying, but it's like, if you can't be funny, at least be interesting. Like, so in your sense, from what you were prioritizing for the, tier of like different things, what you're talking about is you need to be like interesting, you need to be entertaining, you need to be engaging first.
That's what your job is.
Right.
Like, that's what music is, to entertain. I mean, you can get the artistry side of things, but no, they're getting hired you to keep a crowd of people engaged and entertained and staying there and continuing to buy drinks there. Because that's where you're basically a drink salesman. The way you're going to sell the most drinks is keeping people entertained.
The irony.
You get people dancing, or as a musician or a band, you get people dancing, get all the ladies dancing, the people walking by, they say, oh, there's women dancing there. They pour in there too. And that literally then builds a giant crowd, and then they stay there if you keep the hits going. If you start kind of screwing around, then they go somewhere else. Yeah.
And two, that's why there's so many technically proficient musicians out there who they won't make a dime because they don't have the ability to entertain.
Personability,
and charisma, showmanship.
They look either bored or like they're like not really into it, even if they're
mailing it in.
Yeah. And so, man, people come and tell me, like, they say, "Man, you're the greatest karaoke host I've ever seen in my life." And I'm just like, what? Like, I appreciate it. I'm very flattered. I've been doing this for like a year and a half of the karaoke stuff. And it's great to get all this feedback and hear, like, okay, maybe I should expand on this because, like, the karaoke stuff is a lot more lucrative than the drum gigs. I don't have to split it with the band members or get hired by somebody else. I just go be the person, and then they cut me the check. I don't have to be the middleman that gets paid from somebody who got the check and hired me to come on, whether it's a one-off or a consistent thing. And there's something really cool about that. But people tell me all this stuff, and I'm like, this is a joke. Like, compared to all the work I've like put in to become a great drummer, a percussionist, and get a degree in this stuff, and now I'm just up to saying, make some noise for Johnny whatever over there. And then like people tell me I'm like, whatever. Like, this is a cakewalk. I'm just literally sitting here pressing the air horn and talking crap about the singers with the co-host over there, just geeking out and getting a lot more money than the drum gigs.
Well, but it's that charisma and showmanship. That's what annoys me when people shit on bands like Kiss or Slipknot or
the
Ghost.
Kiss Army is.
I just think it's weird to talk about rocking, like partying all night when you've never even done drugs, dude. This is weird. Anyway.
Well, like, oh, if you're a good musician, you shouldn't have to wear a mask on stage. I think like Machine Gun Kelly said that, or something like that. And it's like,
well, Machine Gun Kelly has pink hair and piercings all over the place and looks like a crackhead.
It's
so,
the showmanship.
Machine Gun Kelly's an idiot.
Well, I went to his
How
show.
dare you call out Slim Shady?
Last minute, I went to a show that this girl
Idiot.
invited me to, and I looked on SeatGeek and found a ticket for like $10 for the Machine Gun Kelly the day of.
$10
And
to
after
MGK,
fees, it was
folks.
like $30. Went over there just to see what was going on, and I was more interested like
Got
when
more
they
fans
escorted
than you in
Megan
your own
Fox.
city, little kitty.
They were
Go
escorting
play.
Megan Fox into the sound booth, and everybody,
Are they still together?
And I was just yelling.
no, I don't think so.
I was just yelling at her, like trying to get her attention.
He like gets her blood, and he's like,
But then he came in there in a helicopter,
Weirdo.
bro. He came in there in the Moody Center with some kind of prop helicopter. He flew in and then dropped in from a ladder. I was
He
like,
has
that's pretty
to.
cool.
Like, well, he has
It's
to
that
do.
like,
That's
even
the
if you're
stuff.
not a fan of the guy, you got to recognize like that's
And
entertaining.
his whole
at
band were
least,
chick musicians
He
and
has
were really
to.
good.
Yeah.
He
And his
doesn't have
stage
the
looked
talent
cool.
to get him through, so he needs other
he's-
things.
And it's just, I mean, regardless of what it is, but yeah, it's like if you don't have that kind of showmanship, or then yeah, what are you even doing it for? Or that if you look like you're bored on stage, or you don't like, and it's also depends on what you wear, how you look, your whole persona. You don't have to do the most or have like a big gimmick, but like people don't want to go to a rock show and see Ted from next door on stage. You know, they want to see a rock. They should be able to tell you're in the band if you're just chilling at the bar buying a drink before they even see you setting up. They should be able to say that guy's in the band, like and you don't have to put all the bells and whistles, but you got to have some decorum and look fly. And then when you play too, you have to have some energy or act like you actually enjoy being
something
up
to
there.
stand out from the rest, where people
Exactly.
recognize that. I mean, with Machine Gun Kelly, he should have stuck to acting. He did really well in The Dirt. I don't know if you guys saw
I
that.
did, yeah, that was great.
He played Tommy Lee really well.
But look at Motley Crue. I mean, Tommy Lee is like the first like epitome of like what a rock star drummer is, and he kind of set that standard. And that's what the Crue and Motley Crue is basically like. They are the definition of that, and doing the upside down drum solos in the cages and the most
Joey
off the wall
Jordison,
stuff.
bro. Have you seen that one? Slipknot.
Yeah. But that was all like started. Like
Right.
Tommy Lee walks so they can all run kind of thing. And everything that's been done since that is all great. But yeah, they really were the epitome of like the bad boy rock stars. And even if their music's awesome and to some degree, but a lot of it's kind of,
It's the
hokey and cheesy.
showmanship,
And
yeah.
Kiss too. Some of it's all the most simple stuff. But like the Kiss Army was like the biggest merch. They basically like started and created like music marketing and took that to a whole new level and standard that nobody has ever, been able to match since then with the magazines, subscriptions, and all that. It's just, it's really crazy. I got to see them live. Kiss and Aerosmith were on the same bill. Maybe
Oh,
like
shit.
2009. I think I saw them back in
On the
Houston. Super
final
cool.
tour.
talk about a powerhouse of a frontman, Steven Tyler.
Yeah, it's the best. Even at like the Aussie thing, bro. He's
Yeah.
still like crushing it. And like, yeah, he's nuts, dude. Yeah, that guy's vocal ability still at his age is like unbelievable. And Rush just made their big
Yeah,
comeback.
Rush is coming back.
I had the pre-sale today, man, and I first time I ever like went through
And then Neil
Ticketmaster
Peart died.
itself, right? First
Neil
time
Peart
I
die?
ever went through the Ticketmaster portal itself. And like was in the queue with these people, and I finally got in and was clicking on these seats, and then like within seconds it was like, oh, these dots will pop up available, and then they go away.
Then all of a sudden
and it was the
gone,
most
yeah.
frustrating, annoying thing, and to where like Ticketmaster and Live Nation has pretty much become the monopoly of gatekeeping access to entertainment, and I just absolutely hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Now like I have to go. I woke up, made sure I was in the queue 30 minutes early and ready for the pre-sale, and then it was just a big flop. And even at retail, those tickets are like $300 to over $2,000 and stuff. And so the resale is even more than that, but it's like it's literally a geezer money grab. Like they're literally taking advantage of a big reunion of a major touring artist.
Like,
Rush is my favorite band ever.
Rush is amazing.
They're my biggest influences ever. Like, and Neil was the reason I picked up the sticks. Like watching his videos on the early days of before YouTube. Like watching his
7,
drum
8.
solos is what made
Boys
me
and girls.
what made me really interested in wanting to do this stuff for a living. Like,
Yeah.
and just like that was the light bulb moment. Was Neil.
One,
And
two,
then
one,
getting
two, one,
into
two,
And
three,
two,
one,
they-
two, one, two, one, two, three.
They kind of spit in the face of the whole rock star imagery and lifestyle and went for their own
They
vibe.
were a counterculture, but always had one of the biggest grossing tours
Mm-hmm.
every year when they were touring. Like top top 5 amongst even all the biggest, but nobody knew about it except for, the big. But yeah, I was able to see
Working
them
Man,
5
bro.
times.
Great Rush,
great
dude. Great
song.
Rush tune,
And
bro.
I didn't know if I'd ever see him again.
Throw
Nobody
on
did.
Working Man by
And so
Rush
it
real
was
quick, just like the beginning of it.
It was just
dude.
the coolest
It's a great
thing
one.
to hear that. And then Annika Niles on drums is like
Please.
the coolest thing too. They got that German chick, Annika Niles, who I met at Pacek.
Did they replace the drummer?
In 2012. Yeah, they had to. He passed
Bro,
away
I
in
got Vic
2020.
Firth's autograph at Pacek.
I did too, 2012.
Old ass Vic Firth, dude. He died, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I gave those 6 to my brother.
This
Dude,
dude's
this
just
is-
not. Cody's so far removed. He didn't even know Neil Peart died, dude.
Dude, I just said he died, dude. What are you talking about? He's been
I
dead for
don't-
like a couple years.
Okay,
dude.
I might be
5.
wrong on this, but I don't think Neil's drumming on this.
Nope.
No,
John
right?
Rutsey.
Yeah.
This isn't Neil Peart?
No, this
Nope.
is not Neil. This is before Neil came on.
John Rutsey. And then Neil joined him on the next album.
The breakdown in this
time.
later, the like that's a fun.
A lot
groove.
better than I think I am.
Yeah, this one here.
Dude.
I would listen to the song every day after I got off work. Be like, yeah,
Rush is
Working
the
Man.
best, bro. Like that documentary Beyond the Lighted Stage. Have y'all seen that? It's
No,
incredible. It tells the whole story of Rush through there, and it's one of the best music docs I've ever seen. Not just because it's Rush, like it's really well done and well put together. It talks about when they met Neil and when he came into the picture and they auditioned after he had to basically give their old drummer the boot because he was like, I guess drinking too much or partying too much during tour, and they were afraid that
Like,
he
we're
was
gonna
going to
get-
spiral off.
A way better drummer than
And
you.
then
It's
they
like we're gonna
got-
get this guy Neil. He's
Then they
gonna,
got Neil, man.
change the
Oh,
world.
they
And Neil
upgraded.
wrote all their lyrics too, so like that's what became like. He was the mastermind behind all the really deep philosophical lyrics they wrote, as well as the drum parts matching up to the phonetic syllables of the lyrics, and that was what was so beautiful about that. How the rhythmic drum parts complemented and accented all the vocal lines.
That's why I
that
like
were
Kendrick
getting
Lamar,
with,
dude,
so.
because he's very percussive in his vocals. When you
Yeah.
have that percussive factor,
Yeah.
which coming from Neil Peart would be, I'm assuming, more in that way. But yeah, like
I'm
that's
sure Neil loved Kendrick. too.
Well, dude, I'm just like the percussive quality of the vocals is what I'm going for. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Have you seen that old clip of, I think it's Alex Lifeson and his family at like the dinner table, and
Yeah,
his parents
that's in
are
the
like,
documentary. He's like,
yeah,
I don't want to graduate high school. I
It's like,
just
I'm
wanna
gonna
play
go on
guitar."
tour. Yeah,
And they talk about that, how their parents were like just so distressed about their decision. And
they're
then,
like, you should have a backup. Like, just go to trade school or do something to know that you're gonna make
and
some
then
money.
Getty, he said, yeah, it was really the light bulb clicked for them when their parents saw him on TV, and they was like, oh, he's an entertainer. Like they finally like understood like that's what.
Yeah,
he's
they
doing.
could finally
they didn't
see,
get
like,
this is rock music.
There's an
Like,
actual
well,
metric of success.
Yeah.
being
Oh,
on
now
TV.
you know.
Yeah. And now they're one of the highest grossing bands of all time. They're 50 something years they've been doing. I went to their 30th and 40th anniversary tour and 3 times in between, and it was
Dude.
life changing experience.
Dude, I
every
wish I
time,
could have
like-
gone to the South Park Red Rock concert where they came
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Dude,
That was
closer to the
was
heart. It
super
was
cool.
so awesome.
And
them,
yeah, the fact
Primus,
they
and
played with them
Ween,
too,
and-
yeah, that's
oh,
super
dude,
dope.
it was a
Another
fucking
band with a
great one.
bassist lead singer.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was super rare, man. Of all the, I can sing and drum, I can sing and play guitar, I can sing and play piano. I cannot sing and play bass.
Interesting.
There's
I would
something
think all of those things would be harder.
There's something
Yeah.
about the 2 finger or 1 finger, the rhythmic thing you're doing with your fingers not lining up with the rhythmic vocal thing, and if you're just playing like straight 8th notes, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're like playing an actual line like Getty's doing, like the rhythms of your singing do not match anything of the rhythms of your fingers, and that to me, whereas guitar you're strumming.
Well, that's like
Or
drumming,
drums,
too.
You're keeping
Yeah,
time.
there's a
But-
little
but-
more back
piano
and
you're
forth.
playing.
But dude,
You
there's
can tune it out easy.
Yeah.
there's separation going on when you're drumming. Like you're
To a degree.
there's polyrhythm
But
separation.
usually the complicated things that are happening in drumming are in the pauses of the vocal phrasing. Like they'll do a vocal lick and then the fill will be at the end of the vocal phrase. So usually you're not playing some complicated pattern while you're singing is the big, a lot of popular music you're not playing.
You need to start doing what that one drummer does, where he does like down. It's like some weird, totally
Yeah,
out of
that
place.
guy blew
You know
up.
what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, for sure.
We should
And
like
then-
that's what we need to do. We need to sample people. We need to play that and
Yeah.
sample it in like whatever. You know what I mean?
And I don't know how
That's
that
great,
guy
but
keeps
dude, do
getting
some-
hired too, because that's probably just what it becomes.
No,
This
because now-
this whole show is a
that's
joke
what I'm
of what can I
saying.
get a viral clip out
No,
of
that's
doing
what.
here?
No, but dude, I'm telling you, it's like you turn an audience now where that's what they want, right?
Yeah,
like
goofy
so
stuff.
if they're gonna go see you, they want that to happen. It's like and
but
like
I think he's just a Nashville like local bar drummer, so
Bro,
like nobody's gonna know like unless they recognize him.
I'm
from
in the
videos,
same
like-
spirit because I'm a drummer and I'm a comic. And dude, just on a general sense, like when I go out and see my friends performing, one of my favorite things to do with my friends on stage is to get them to laugh, like while they're on stage. So like me doing stuff to like, I want to get them like they're all pros, so they'll still be not missing a note. But like, yeah, dude, it's like the fun aspect of that because it makes the performance more fun. It makes it I truly believe that when the audience can see the performers having a fucking great time,
and
dude,
interacting with each other,
I
Actually
love
facing each other.
I love watching
Yeah.
Carlos Sosa watch Matt Muehling play his solo.
Yeah, like a little
I
schoolgirl
love
just-
watching those guys appreciate each other because they're all so great, and but it's still great because we all, no matter what you do, how good,
it's still
you always
accessible.
still
It's
appreciate
still
other
accessible.
killers.
Yeah.
That's why, like, unless you're a woman, I'm just kidding. No, dude, look at the WNBA, bro. But like, great players in sports, right? They always recognize each other. Like, great, even like if you don't like a person, like there's certain comedians, I'm not gonna say names, that are doing things, a lot of big things. You can have your opinions about people, but you can't take away what they're doing. And
You're
if you
talking about like the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark kind of stuff.
well, just
like,
the
they won't be
WNBA in
happy
general.
for each other,
Let's do it. Let's
support
get into
each
this.
other.
The WNBA in general, the women, I don't get it. They're all salty and it doesn't make sense.
They're hyper competitive.
But
Women
it's
are
like
in a different
Caitlyn
way
is
than men.
she's your cash like she's like the ticket.
Well, she's
the golden ticket.
WNBA's cash cow, not the opposing team.
But her success.
But, you're
but
right,
listen,
they
bro,
should dial
her
it back.
success is the WNBA's success, bro.
Naturally, yeah.
So that's why it's like a rising tide lifts all boats, whatever. Dude, to me, it doesn't make sense. And also, she's good.
Yeah.
So give the if somebody's talented,
Give them their
How are you
flowers,
gonna talk
yeah.
shit?
Yeah.
Like give them their flowers.
It's the
You know what I mean?
egotism then invading modern sports too, instead of appreciating and learning from each other. And like a lot of the, there's a lot of those rivalries in the NBA too, where people are actively trashing each other on
Well,
Twitter.
yeah, Shaq does it all the
even though-
time, bro.
yeah. Well,
But
he's
like
out-
he
he's out
still
of the
gives
league
Timmy,
now.
he
He's
still
out
gives
of the
Timmy his
league,
flowers.
I mean,
True.
people who are still in the league. There's like legitimate rivals between people.
Well, dude, but
social
there
media
were
feuds
there were
between active
trash
NBA players.
there were
Yeah.
trash talkers, but the great players, if we're talking in the sports sense, they know. Why would I give this guy anything more to like have to work with when I compete against them? I'm not like even if you want to say it, that it's like Jordan, like anybody that had a brain, like and Jordan didn't need hardly anything to like, and sometimes he just straight up made it up. He's admitted like in The Last Dance, like, but like just give him the slightest thing to be like, oh, okay, and then he's gonna like zero in on that to like just murder you.
Yeah,
bro.
don't ruffle his feathers.
Don't
Stay out
say
of his
it,
way.
you know?
Yeah,
And that-
Kobe too. Yeah,
That level of competition, it's definitely unique to sports because you don't see that really with musicians as dominantly. And even with like boxing and like MMA, it's like there is that rivalry. Some of it is even just performative and boarding into like that WWE level of like, okay, we're getting a little ridiculous with, the shot calling and, just the bickering that's happening outside
Wrestling?
of the actual fight.
You talking about wrestling?
Well, saying that boxing and like the actual like the rivalries that occur and just the shit talk that happens.
Boxing sucked for like a while.
Well, it's gone more and more into that WWE level of banter. Like I
Perfect
think
example,
that's
though.
what sells more
Yeah.
pay per view.
Perfect example.
Exactly,
I don't
for
like
sure.
Floyd Mayweather as a human being. I like at all. I cannot
Yeah, he
take away
ruined
from
the
him
sport of
how
boxing, in my
great
opinion.
he is. The best defensive boxer of all time.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone land a clean punch on Floyd Mayweather in any fight I've watched.
And that's what I'm
ever.
saying. They went from the killer,
crazy.
the dog, the killer, instinct of all the '90s boxing we saw, and then that became the new standard of like how much can I evade and just win by decision every time. And he totally rewired what boxing meant and winning these
Well,
matches.
but
a different way
but-
of
but,
playing the
like,
sport.
And I don't like
Is
what he
he-
did for the sport. But
You
yeah,
don't-
he's the best. Obviously, he's one of the top 5 most decorated boxers of all time.
But I'm curious to ask you because like I'm curious because I think we may have a different opinion here. So you think that like you liked the more offensive boxing of like the Ali era?
Everybody did.
where
Everybody
or
wanted
the
to see
Tyson
somebody
just
bury somebody. Yeah, everybody
everyone's
wanted
got
to
a
see
plan
Tyson
until they
bury
get punched in
somebody.
the face.
No one
Yeah.
wants to watch a 3-minute round of dancing around each other. They want to
times
see
10. Yeah,
exactly.
times 10. Yeah, repeat and just
That was
nobody's hitting
Canelo
anybody.
and
yeah.
for a while.
Well, exactly.
That fight started out so
and
slow.
that's why the viewership's gone way down and UFC's gone way up. And you know, I watched that Smashing Machine movie recently with The Rock and showing the early days of the UFC and how like it used to be just the most gruesome, crazy thing. But now it's like that for good reason, like that's much more entertaining and engaging as watching is because it could be a knockout at any moment. But now these boxers aren't KOing each other. Like that used to be the thing. We're gonna end this in the first or second round. We're gonna bury this dude and then be done with this thing and don't worry about it. Now most of these fights go to all 10.
What was
to 12
Tyson's
rounds.
quickest? Like 19 seconds or something.
Yeah, and watching those highlight reels are just scary to see how
Dude,
much power he had.
search
in that.
Mike Tyson's quickest knockout, dude. Like that guy, bro. But that's
Dude,
the
Mike
other thing.
Tyson
You
is
don't
one of
have
my heroes, dude.
You
I
don't
love Mike
have
Tyson.
those like.
Dude, he is a legend.
He's
Bro,
a genius.
But bro,
He's-
but we don't have a fighter that has that level. Like no, nobody struck fear.
But that's why people used to watch, and because of that, they wanted to
I mean,
see Tyson
dude,
bury somebody. Boom,
Bro,
he's done.
How many like within how many? What was it? 3-minute round.
Yeah.
So that was like within
24 seconds,
less
yeah.
than 2.5 minutes.
And so that's what
Oh,
people love
bro.
to see is like the ferocity. But what's so cool about him is he learned how to, and then he basically got thrown in jail, which totally ruined his career and the trajectory of it, right?
Yeah,
If you've seen the
dude. Now
Tyson
do Patrice
documentary,
Mike
it's
Tyson.
crazy, bro.
Dude,
But
pull up
when he-
that Patrice thing where he's talking about Mike Tyson.
When he got back to fighting after he was in prison
Yeah.
and rehab, he was a different animal.
He was
He was a
different,
beast.
and it
he was
was-
locked into another level.
Mike Tyson was innocent, dude. Bro, dude.
I never thought Mike Tyson. And the reason I saying this because motherfucker now he's fighting like farmers. They got Mike fighting anybody just to say.
How
Mike,
pathetic
you
was
gonna
that,
see him
too?
knock a motherfucker out again. He was so special as a knockout artist. We hated to see him when he got on the rape beef, and I never believed, especially based on the last interview we had with Greta Van Suskin. And he goes, what do you have to say to your victim? He goes, well, I wish I hadn't really raped the bitch. And her mama. I wish I hadn't really raped the bitch and her mama. I'm like, whoa, that is an innocent man. I'm telling you, only an innocent man could be that angry and say some shit that fucked up.
No, for real.
I wish I had raped her so I'd have been in jail for something instead of raping the bitch and I really didn't. So that's Mike's way of like figuring it all out. And her testimony years ago, which cut me off, even without the interview solidified it. Her testimony, he forced oral sex on me. And I said, damn, he made you suck his dick? That's terrible. He ate a pussy. That's when it was like, case. What rapist tries to make you feel wonderful? I've been eating pussy a long time. And I never eat it rapey. How the fuck do you do? Shut up, bitch, shut up! Shut up, about to eat your pussy, shut up! While I peel away the outer lips and slide the hood back to expose your clitoris for maximum stimulation. Shut the fuck up! You can't even make a mean face while you eat pussy. You can't.
Dude.
But to see now who
Bruh.
he is today and the work he's done to basically suppress the tyrant titan and the most
But
killer
it's still there.
instinct. But it's still there, but he's learned and have to
Keep
the
that tiger in the
self-control
cage,
of the
bro.
pit, like and he's a very wise and intelligent man. Like he says a lot of the off the wall stuff and everybody like there's the most and he's the most unintentionally
And, you know,
funny
the
person
whole-
on the planet. There's a whole 10-minute
the whole face
compilation of
tattoo.
the crazy
Yeah.
stuff he said. But now he's like that dude is on a different level of like understanding and like I don't know, he's always been one of my like to see him go from that to then his his centered self today and kind of at peace with that person who was and the work he's had to do on himself. Like, love the guy. And yeah, loved watching him in the 90s too. I remember watching those fights. Like, the hype was crazy. Like, he was unstoppable. And that, like they said, they threw him in jail to basically, because he was getting too powerful and too untouchable.
It's like, we need to put a lid on this.
Yeah, they stumped his career, and then he started losing. He was, after that, he was a beast. He came out prison, Mike, but like he was not.
Yeah,
the
but after he
same.
bit off Anders' ear, dude,
Well, yeah,
it was like,
crazy
Bro.
stuff. But
that his career, that was the like, it was done. Like it was like after that, there was never
That
any,
was the shift. That was
Yeah.
where things changed.
yeah,
like because he was feared,
No,
rightfully.
for sure.
And
There's that one picture of the cops that are all trying to get control of him in the ring, and there's like 5 cops going, and he's just basically like, and all the cops are like, they
Bro,
ain't even
I
Literally
will-
behaving like
I
he's
will
a wild
eat your
animal.
children, dude.
Yeah.
That's the greatest.
yeah.
Like, I'm gonna eat your children, bro. Like, what? What does this guy just say, dude? Like, bro.
stomp on the testicles, and you feel the pain I feel every day.
Yo, Mike, I didn't say shit. All right, if
Literally.
Mike's here,
It's like, we're friends.
Bro.
We're friends, Mike.
dude.
Talk
no,
about
I
the-
still wouldn't want
yeah.
to piss him off.
He's probably the most intimidating looking person in the world.
No, he's
It's not even just looking;
basically,
his presence.
dude,
He's
think,
like
of,
just-
think of Street Fighter. You remember Balrog from Street Fighter? They literally designed a boxing character that looked just like him.
Yeah.
That basically, he became that archetype of that. He's like, if you look at that Street Fighter character, like that's Mike Tyson.
him. It's like,
yeah,
yeah.
that they
It's like,
made into.
they didn't try and hide
a
it. It's
world,
like,
but
yeah.
and it's
No, but
yeah.
dude, you're right, bro. He came around. He's got a podcast. Like, dude, he's
And
his
he has a
vapes
new level
before
of fame too.
Texas
I've always
passed
been
his
like
stupid law.
fascinated with fame, man. Like who has been able to reach levels of fame that are unprecedented by before. First, it was like the degree of like Elvis, and then Michael Jackson took it to a whole different level. And now with the technology we have, Taylor Swift has taken it to a whole
Trump.
different level where they've superseded like humanity. Like,
Trump's
they're
probably the most
literally-
famous person to ever exist.
Maybe no.
It's easy to say that now because we're living in it, but I think, 100 years from now,
He'll be remembered.
he will be remembered, but I don't know if it's going to be on the same level of intensity.
I didn't say
yeah,
why.
Yeah, no. It's,
Yeah.
but I've always
Hitler's
found that very
remembered.
fascinating.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm
yeah.
not like, trust me, that's not a comparison. But
yeah, I, like
yeah,
as
he
far
will.
in the
He's
music
too
world,
in the
in the
consciousness.
music world, mostly the fame factor of like, yeah, Elvis had the blueprint for it. Then Michael was a whole new level of just like superseded what it means to be famous, and then now Taylor is at a whole new level of like astronomical numbers. The tours are generating like insane, like it's insane. And so these people then
Swifties.
supersede organizations with their popular, like they can't even contain, like, I don't know, it's pretty nuts.
Taylor
So-
is probably the most recent like new household name, and I don't know if we're gonna really get many of those going forward.
no,
Bro,
I mean,
I saw her open for Brad Paisley in like 2007 or
yeah, her early
2008.
years. Yeah, that's
2008.
crazy.
Yeah, literally, she was
nuts.
opening for Brad Paisley.
Yeah, and now like now that she's engaged to one of the biggest stars in the
Kelsey.
NFL, like makes you think what's really going on there. Like
They
think
have
of
a
somebody
fucking
that
podcast,
famous,
too.
But think of somebody that famous. How can they even have a partner or live somewhat of a normal relationship of life that it's not going to be? How much of this was fabricated, or is this like a legit relationship that they just are trying to do a regular normal relationship? It's just like
Well, I think when you get to that level, when you get to that level of fame, it's also who you're hanging out with. Because if you're that famous, you're going to be hanging out with other A-listers or other,
yeah.
sports
Travis
stars.
Kelce is more famous because of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, there was it was
I
something
think
like,
that's the thing for him. She gets an NFL
after it
elite
was
player,
announced-
and he gets to be more famous.
After it was announced, the next day he had like over 500,000 more followers on
believe
Instagram.
that.
Their jersey sales was higher than any other NFL
Believe
jersey
it.
sale overnight. Like
Swifties
that,
coming
because of the Swiftie army.
Because of the Swiftie
And you got to
army,
think
yeah.
about that. Like the NFL generates like 50 billion something a year, or some kind of crazy thing like that. To where it's like, how did they, how does somebody's fame supersede one of the largest organizations? And then how can we merge that? Just like in that year, like to think that the Chiefs weren't going to be down there and Taylor wasn't going to be down there kissing the Super Bowl
Dude,
champion.
if you still
like that
drank-
was like, I bet my money on that, and I made a lot of money that
Bro.
because like there's no way they're not going to have the Chiefs win it this
Bro,
year.
if you
Like,
still drank and you played the take a shot every time they show Taylor
Yeah.
game during the Super Bowl, you would probably not
wouldn't
make it to
remember
halftime.
the game.
You wouldn't make it to
Yeah.
halftime, dude.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad I
You'd be
don't
done.
drink anymore. My wallet is thankful. I
Yeah,
am thankful.
seriously.
Everything is
Bro.
great, man.
For real.
9 years is a lifetime.
Dude.
It seems like, and still in the bars all the time. So it's unreal to do it and just be. Try to keep focused on what I'm trying to do and what I'm there for, which is to spread musical joy and try to create a vibe and not participate. And when the gig's done, pack up and get the heck out of there. Get it out of the dark environments as much as I can. Try to be the light in the dark environments and be a good influence on people. But
Hell yeah. That's a good
Maybe they don't
mindset
want
to
that
have.
though.
a lot of them don't want that. Exactly.
No, because it makes them feel bad about themselves.
Yeah, you can see that insecurity coming out, well, especially in the music world, outside of the karaoke stuff. A lot of these people don't like when they see you doing really well for yourself and living in your truth and just living your best life. Like a lot of the people that are doing
success
it as well,
reveals that.
they'll support you, they'll love that and be really appreciative of your goals. But a lot of the other people, they're not happy to see that, and they I obviously don't give you the time of day and act like you're just a scrub. And it's like, no, you know who I am. Like you, and I know who you are, and I really admire you as a musician.
Yeah,
you
Tony
know who
Hinchcliffe.
I am, but you know who I am, yet you're just dismissing
know me.
every, I don't know, like these people. And so I stopped trying to support all these local awesome musicians I like, because a lot of them may have a chip on their shoulder. A lot of them, they never show up to any of my shows. What are they doing to support me? I would actively try to go to their shows, support them all the time, post clips of them just killing it, whatever, and just to be acted like I'm just some kind of snubbed fan. They just try to snub off when I'm just actively showing appreciation, respect, and admiration for what they do, but they don't give that back in return.
Well,
There
dude,
needs to
This
be
is like-
reciprocity
Bro,
to
bro,
it.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
I don't think that should stop you from doing it. You just
Well, it
have to
doesn't.
be like, because it's like, if you feel it, the reciprocity, then you're like, cool, because I'm like, certain people, they may not appreciate, other people may be like, thank you, because to me, as someone who does things, like, if I have a thing
The
and
good ones appreciate it and actively show that respect and appreciation.
because I
The
wouldn't
other
want you to
ones,
never
though,
come
you're right,
to not
they
come to
get-
something I
they
was
get
doing
real insecure, man.
for that
A
reason.
lot of people they get real insecure just because I'm like, I don't know, I actively see this stuff and I'm studying the way people and I'm just trying to be a fly on the wall, but a lot of times I can't do that because I don't know, it's just interesting to see that lack of reciprocity. Like I'm saying, like
and it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm sharing your clips, I'm going to share yours on my same page. It could just be something as simple as like showing up to the show, or just like, hey, good job, man. It's like, oh, what do you got going on? Just showing an actual interest
and putting
in
your
what's
name
happening.
and face in their mouth, so that if the opportunity comes, they might want to work with you. Is basically you want to network with all the people who you admire in the Austin music scene and hope that you'd get a call from them one day. But then no, it's like then they obviously show it's like, no, don't hold your, don't wait around for the call. You're not going to get it, basically. And to treat, and it's just like, I don't, it's like, I get you're really good at what you do, and I'm kind of good at but it's like, I don't know, like that lack of respect and just like you said, the reciprocity of just respect and admiration for each other when they basically like snub you off like you're just some kind of, I don't know. So I just
Elitists.
stopped. I just stopped going to, like, I don't go out to these bars or shows unless they pay me to be there. Like,
And
I have
that
no
takes,
business there.
That takes tremendous self-confidence too, because there's a feeling of wanting to, like, trying to keep filling the bucket of like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep poking this guy, I'm trying to keep this relationship going. But if they're not putting back, they're not also filling the bucket.
Yeah.
You just gotta have to.
You naturally
have
wanna
the
be
confidence to
validated.
walk
Same
away.
philosophy with women.
Naturally, you want to be validated by musicians you respect, and like you. And I always try to validate musicians that I respect too, or that I know look up
Let's
to me.
talk about
but-
where you choke on the stick.
What's your balance?
I don't think there's any drummer I've seen that chokes back further on the stick than you do.
I'm doing the Steve
You-
Gadd
bro.
Questlove thing. The butt of the stick
Bro.
is
Is
right
in the
here in
palm
my
there?
palm, baby.
Yeah.
You see me hold
And
sticks,
I
dude.
play with extra
Yeah,
long
dude,
sticks.
it's weird to watch.
I play
you.
with
Like,
extra
it's
long sticks, dude.
crazy, bro.
And because I have
I
really
feel like I
open, washy cymbals to where I've learned to basically dance very lightly on top of them. And the more you go back, the more weight you're pushing in to that. And I don't know, naturally I'm there. I play with the longer
From a control
sticks,
standpoint,
and
I
it's
feel
back
like
there. Yeah.
it feels.
Well, I'm going for volume. A lot of times I'm playing hard rock stuff,
Yeah.
so I need the extra volume with little effort. I'm playing 3 or 4 hour gigs. I can't, work too hard. And so I find ways to work, and that's how you put more mass in forward by putting the butt of the stick right there. That's,
You know who actually chokes back pretty far on his stick? That fuck Rene Lopez, dude. He
love
chokes
Rene.
back.
I
That
love
commie
Rene.
drummer, dude.
Yeah, Renee's, I remember seeing blisters
He
on
chokes
that
back
dude's hands.
pretty far.
That dude's breaking cymbals.
You
and
two are the
breaking thumbs
furthest
all the
choker
time.
backers
I love that guy.
In the Austin scene.
He's a lefty. He's
Well, it's
always
just finding techniques that make it easier for you to play.
Exactly.
Like there's same thing
it's
with
all
yeah.
efficiency, emotion, and saving energy. Otherwise, if you play like Travis Barker for these 3 or 4 hour drum gigs, like that,
Your
you're
forearms
gonna
are
burn
noodles,
out, dude.
yeah.
like and so
Like
That's
same
why I
thing,
don't like
yeah.
watching drummers with a lot of wasted motion.
yeah, it's
There's something
exceptional.
about it that
And when you see me,
makes
like
me-
a lot, like I'm putting out really big tones, like almost overpowering the band, and I'm look like I'm barely like touching the things, because you learn how to tune your drums and pick the cymbals that wash the right type of way to where you just basically have to touch them and they just open up. You don't have to dig or put the mass. You let the weight or do it for you, and you just learn how to do that to save your energy over
You don't have to
time.
work to try and make the kit sound like something it's
Exactly,
not. And that goes the same
exactly.
too for recording. Like I'm more in the mixing recording side of things. I spent so
Yeah.
much time trying to make a little garage kit sound like a full stadium kit. Like mess with gated reverbs, like crazy compression, and just realized like it doesn't sound as good as a stadium kit.
That's
But,
one element,
yeah.
I guess, but
I can make this garage kit sound like a killer garage kit.
or people with $5,000 drum kit that sounds like crap because
Yeah,
they don't know how
that
to tune
too.
it or put the right stuff
or
on it.
drummers with a
So-
huge rig that don't.
That
It's
just
like
do hi-hat,
you got
snare
all this
kicks,
stuff,
yeah.
bro, and you.
What they call
you
those
know,
not drummers, drum owners. They call
They're
those
like
guys
it's
drum
like
owners.
it's like
they
guys
have their
that
collection.
lift their trucks, right? Like
It's all the
like,
people who are
there's some
complaining about. There's a girl
compensation.
replacing Neil Peart on this Rush tour.
Dude, the more
unbelievable.
the
And they
more
got the giant
toms-
$5,000 kit that they can't
it should have
play.
been me.
the
Yeah,
more
yeah.
toms you have on your rack, the smaller your drum dick is. I stand
Dude,
by
I
that,
mean,
bro. I stand
When
by
I was
that, bro.
18, I brought the 6-piece kit to the gigs. Now
That's
I
my
bring
hot
the
take.
little. Now I bring
The
the,
more-
the
the more
least
toms,
amount possible, man.
the smaller your drum dick.
I don't go too small, but I literally and I have the smallest sizes and literally just do what I have to do to make.
That's
to
what
make
I
it
love
work.
about that guy, Esteban Esperiano.
Yeah.
Where he plays incredibly small kits, sometimes just kick,
Just
floor tom,
tom,
snare,
yeah.
maybe a
And
cymbal or
super
two.
dry sounds.
Yeah.
Nothing resonant. It's all
Dude,
just the tack
you can
sound.
do a
yeah.
lot with a little, bro. There's a great video of what's his face from Periphery. I forget it. Matt Halpern.
Yeah.
On
He's
6
great.
during South by like 12 years ago. Just all these guys a floor tom, snare, and a
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
it, and
yeah.
a bass drum. And dude, the level of fullness he gets out of just that, you're like, dude, you don't need a lot.
Kick, snare, hat, and maybe a ride cymbal's great.
Yeah.
That's literally all
You
you
can
need.
play
Everything
A great
else
any
drummer
pop
can
song.
can do
Yeah.
like work wonders with
or
that.
just a snare drum with some brushes and a rod. Like if you can't paint a picture with just a snare drum in front
you
of you.
can get
like,
a lot of different tones out of what you have. Like
Yeah.
if you really can work that drum, because especially like a snare, you got your snares, you can turn your snares off. You know what? You can dampen, you can mute it, you can mix it up with your toms. You like there's always things you can do with what you're working with to like expand that sound. It's like I love creativity in drummers that make things happen like that because you're like, oh, dope, that's dope as shit. You know, you're like,
I've found my sounds and what works for me and the cymbals. A drummer's voice is in their cymbals. A drum sounds like a drum, right? You can tune it in different ways, dry it up, make it wide open, but it's gonna sound like a drum. Cymbals can sound like all kinds of
I think tuning's an art.
Tuning
Tuning
is
drums
a
is an art.
lost art because these people don't know how to tune their dang drums anymore.
Is that your hot take?
Dude,
I want
I'm-
your hot. We
I'm so
got like 10
irritated.
minutes.
Dude,
I want.
I'm so irritated to see what the state of drum tones have become. Now
Yes.
the standard is. First of all, let's talk about Taylor Swift's new record. Every single snare drum sound is that lo-fi baritone rattle box.
Dude, it probably wasn't even
And
a
I-
real drum.
It's
It
not.
was a
It's a sample.
pad.
It's a sample
not.
for
At
sure.
best,
But
it was a
that's
pad.
become the standard. And now with these tom tones, when you go live, like a lot of these engineers, they don't want your drums to have any tone. They can literally create the tones with post-production. Like they literally like dial in some live sounds. And so they want your drums as dead and as possible. And it's like, no, I've always had the philosophy, tune your drums wide open and add the dampening from there, right? You can't make a dead drum sound live, but you can make a live drum sound a little bit deader, right? And I spent a lot of time, hours and hours and years tweaking all
Do
the
you get
different
those little
heads on the
gummy
market.
things to stick on
Yeah,
it? Or
moon
was-
gel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's many dampening agents, but the art of tuning and get a wide open, beautiful drum sound and knowing whether you're it's literally a technique thing of the smartest micro turns to figure out where it's at and where the drum wants to be. And I've gotten really good at getting quick, great sounds over the years. And now, like, that's just the thing, though. People have they just completely don't care about that. I was obsessed. Like I had some 2 audio professors in community college that were like drum tuning, sound design was their main thing. And when they taught us audio engineering, they thought, okay, if you can get a great drum sound and mic up a drum kit great, you can get a great anything sound.
Yeah,
like the real
that's
challenge
the real
is being able
backbone.
to mic a drum kit and get a great sound. And they were drummers too, so they were really obsessed with that. Showed me all the DVDs, and then I went and I would watch the Modern Drummer Festival DVDs and all these amazing drummers having these awesome sounds, but they all sound so different from each other. Then you get to decide, well, I kind of like that sound. Should I make mine sound like that? And then you get to go experiment and have all those hours of tweaking out different heads that you buy and sampling this one. Okay, that works. Then it sounds good on the in studio, but then you take it on the gig, it doesn't work, doesn't carry. Same with cymbals, right? It's not translating the right way, and then you go back to the drawing board. But that is the one thing, man, is like people do not tune their drums or care how their drums sound anymore. And that to me is like, if you don't care about the details, why care at all?
Then it's also sameness. Every kit sounds the exact same.
Which is that lo-fi, super dry, and just track. Like, I don't know. Like, I want their drums to sound like garbage cans, I guess. And it's like, I want mine to speak. And then they can compress and EQ those really live but yeah, a lot of the audio engineers too that aren't really good at capturing in the live sound. Like, for instance, I used to not have a porthole in the kick drum and love to have my kit tuned wide with no porthole. Then the sound engineers will give you all this crap to say, you want me to cut a hole in it for you? Raiders like, no, I don't. I don't want you to get some
that's
tool
how
out.
I like
that's
my
how,
tool. Yeah,
and
my
your job
kit.
is to capture the sound of my drums and how I play. That is your job. It's not my job to cater around to your inability to be able to get a good drum sound.
It shouldn't be a
you know
cookie
Khruangbin?
cutter
Exactly.
mic kit. Yeah, EQ, Khruangbin, yeah.
It should
know
be
that
a hard
band?
and fast immediate, huh?
Khruangbin?
Yeah, a little bit.
How do you feel about that drummer's snare?
I don't know.
I think it's a piccolo.
Not too
I'm pretty
familiar.
Sure.
I
You get
only
that
play. I
piccolo
play 5
high.
inches or shallower.
So you play
bro.
piccolos?
I play piccolos all day.
No shit?
Yeah, and it doesn't mean higher and snappier and tighter. You can tune those to have that fat gunshot.
Your
low
rebound's going to
sound,
be
too.
better though. You're going to
And
get
I do.
cleaner.
That's really what it is. I don't like the big old 6.5 or the big old 8-inch. Like contemporary Christian music, I play drums at church too, and they like that big old open.
Nah, I like a
big
good.
snare
I like a
sound.
good tight head.
Exactly. Make snares crispy again. I have a
Bruh.
shirt that says, instead of saying "Make America Great Again," it
Make
says
snares
"Make snares
crispy
crispy again." It
Buy
looks
that
like-
shirt.
You know we
Bro,
live in
it's
a
crazy.
Yeah, you know we live in a rough time when the Saint Anger drum tone is actually a
Yeah.
better option.
Yeah, and you hear a lot of the great recordings of snare drums in the past year. 2 Princes from the Spin Doctors, or your Digital Bath from the Deftones, like those iconic snare drum sounds are like amazing. And then a tom sound is a whole other
Jumper.
thing on top of that.
Jumper.
Then you have like the Phil Collins, but the Phil Collins, the concert tom sound of that, cutting and his signature sound, and it's like people just don't care anymore, and that's what I hate to see is like the lack of attention to detail and people just not caring about how they sound or how their equipment feels too. They'll play whatever. I mean, a great player can make any crappy thing sound good, sure.
Right.
But if you have control over your sounds, why would you not want to show up and sound great on your instrument, make your instrument sound great, and respond to the way you play them perfectly? Like Neil Peart went in a Steve Gadd session when they doing the Buddy Rich memorial tapes, right, in the jazz band and all that, and like they had Neil go check Steve Gadd's his kit because Steve was coming in the next day, and Neil was getting tones saying, "Well, these sound terrible," right? And then Gadd came in the next day and started playing, and they just sung, right? His touch
The
on them,
hand,
they
the hand of the
open right
player
up.
is the biggest
And
factor.
the touch is
Yeah.
the biggest thing, and so you have to tune them to how your stuff sounds and your sound that you really want.
The problem is all inside your head. Dude, that's a great
Talking,
fucking drum beat, dude.
Talking about
Steve
drum
Gadd's.
tuning, have you guys seen the new Evans drum tuning?
The pull cord
The
drum
pull
key.
cord?
Yeah.
Dude,
So I've
it
been
seems
talking
like
about
something that should have already been invented
No,
like
it's genius.
20 years
It's
ago.
I haven't seen it.
genius. It's
Dude,
cool.
yeah.
Basically, tighten loose and tension rods by a cord mechanism. Basically, like a drill without electrical mechanical power.
It's like a
That's what
pull
the
cord.
concept.
It'll
And I was
get you
talking to the
hand tight.
product developer of Evans, Devin Hasselflug. Yeah, he's I'm with him on Instagram. He gave me a discount code to rehab my stuff and last. So hopefully, get on the Evans artist panel.
Get it
hopefully.
up there.
Yeah, if
Get
you're
my
watching,
boy
if
Austin
you're watching Evans, I
Baker.
want to play.
Evans.
Yeah, so because I was Aquarian for the longest time, and I made the switch to Evans because
We need
they've stayed more
sponsors too here at Cody
consistent,
Kai Cast, so we'll take.
They've stayed more consistent in quality, I think, over the years.
My
And
buddy,
so-
my buddy Ivan, he's a drum specialist. I got to go to the DW like factory event
Yeah.
earlier this year, it sounded awesome.
Yeah.
And they sent him one of those early, like ahead of time.
Nice.
And we were all just geeking out
yeah,
over
it just came out this week. And
Yeah.
now it's super cool. Like I just love drum tuning, sound and design, and love
Dude,
the idea.
I think
of making your-
Zildjian is like the oldest company maybe in the world.
Yeah, they're like over
actually.
200, 300 years old or something like that.
I feel like that. Google the oldest company in the world. I think it's Zildjian.
Or
Dude,
something
I
That would make
like,
sense.
bro.
Yeah, some instrument company.
Yeah.
Do you have a clap stack?
No, I'm not joining the clapstack game.
Is this your hot take? We're running out of time, bro.
This is my hot take right
All
here.
right, let's do it.
No, it's not a hot take. I just refuse to go
Clapstacks
along.
are for bitches.
No,
No, I'm
I
kidding.
love the clapstack. They sound amazing.
Hey, they're great.
They're
They're
super
great.
cool.
It's
That
another
makes
one of
sense.
those. It's another one of those you didn't know you needed it until you saw it, and you're like, I need
Well, you
that.
see, yeah, it's
If I add a
super
symbol to my
cool.
repertoire, a next symbol I might get, it would. that
But
would be the
now,
one.
exactly.
That would be
But
the
now
one.
everybody has one, and now it's just like it's.
But
cooler
not
to
everybody
not
can
have
make them
one.
sound good.
I mean, I guess. I mean, how can it's really you just smack it? I mean, there's not really a technique to play
okay.
it. You
Guess
smack
not.
it. It doesn't
It's
really
just a matter of
resonate.
how much you use it.
Yeah, and then so I don't dislike the clap stack, but I'm not just going to be part of a trend and just go get it because everybody has them now. Because I would only buy one if I used it in a live setting. I'm not going to
See,
buy it
my
just
thing
to
is,
jam
I
at
don't
home
give a
with
shit
it.
that everybody has one. I like that sound.
It's cool. No,
like
it's
I think
cool.
it's a great thing
I have
to
others,
add
but I
to
have
a
other
repertoire.
stack sounds that were before the clap stack that are different, kind of like a chopper, quick attack kind of sound that serve kind of a similar purpose. But yeah, I've always wanted one for sure. But like, would I dish out the money on that as opposed to another really nice crash cymbal or something?
Michael
No, I'm
Davila
not.
told
I'm
us
gonna
which
get
one to get. I can't remember which brand he
Istanbul,
said.
the OG.
Is it the? Is that the?
Istanbul. Istanbuls are
That's the OG.
ridiculously nice.
And then Dizilsion copied it and made
I'm
they acted
sure
like they created it.
Sabian's
And that was the
probably
big-
copied- I mean,
that was the
everybody's
big
probably
feud
has
in the
at
drum.
this
No,
point.
they all. But
Yeah.
like Dizilsion got a lot of flack because for saying like we created this thing. It was like no,
It's like our new
Istanbul's the OG.
innovation.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
You can
exactly.
sell it, but don't claim
No,
like you
exactly.
started
and
it.
so I just avoid all that altogether. I like my HXX Complex series. They're the best of the best, and that's what I rock with. And I know what I like. And every time I try to switch it out or change it up, they go right back in the bag, and I put my old sounds. It's like, no, this is it's once I find what you find what works. And what I go for is versatility, right? I want something to sound good on a country gig, on a rock gig, on a jazz. I want something that's gonna work, and I don't have to pick and choose or swap out. I like to have my sounds ready to go,
Yeah.
and I have them work in any setting. And you can just alter your touch if you need to, right? Play a little softer if you're not playing hard rock, but dig in if you are.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what
like,
gets people gear chasing. It's people thinking that, oh, if I get this new symbol, I'm going to be
it's like the
perfect
shoes. If I
on
get
this.
the Jordans, I can jump as high as Michael. You know, it's like
Exactly.
that's the old tale as old as time. But I mean, with drums, there's a million drum companies, million cymbal companies, so many different head companies, stick companies, and then like people then like what they like and gravitate to that. And then if you like what you like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And a lot of people are always trying to alter their sound stuff. It's like not even worth it. Stick with what you know and whatever works for your sound, and then like. That's what works. So
Just stay in your lane, dog.
keeps you consistent, keeps you booked, and I'm saying no to more gigs than I'm saying yes to, and it's a great feeling. And it's
That's
like,
dude. That's a good place to be in, man.
and that's
Like,
because I'm an entertainer first, musician second, and
bro,
a drummer third.
If you need a karaoke
Exactly.
host, fill in, bro.
Yeah, I
I'm
got
just
you.
saying,
yeah.
dog.
I usually
used to
don't
host.
because I ain't
Solid
missing on
MC
that money.
right here,
I ain't
yeah.
missing that money.
Like
but
I
yeah,
can
will.
sing. I can sing if need be, to get the crowd going.
I haven't yet,
got
but
it,
if
bro.
I do,
I know you're like you cover most of your own stuff.
Yeah,
So
partake in that reciprocity.
I'm there to
you know?
get that money, baby. That's right. We're here to get paid. We
Yo.
didn't put all this work in
No,
to
you-
not leave empty-handed. Well, we
I
need
love
get
to
paid,
do
huh?
karaoke with you on your
Like
your
I
spots.
like making music. I like art and stuff too, but I like money. Okay,
Yeah.
I put a lot of time and money into this. I want a lot of money out of this. Okay,
Makes the world
Which
go
is like
around, man.
The passive income from YouTube, on top of the lessons, on top of the karaoke, on top of the drums. It's just pouring in from all angles, and it's all stuff I love to do. But the only reason I can do that and only that, and not have to get a Joe job, is because I filtered out all the $100 a man gigs and don't do anything for less than $250. Like that's like my bare minimum, and if I got to travel, it's more than that. Like and that's what all my rent and bills are paid just from karaoke. Then the drum gigs are extra, and then it's awesome, way more than I was as an elementary teacher. So like,
Well, dude,
it's crazy.
That's the goal right there.
It is,
yeah,
right?
It's just doing
and
shit
I just
you love
moved
and
my
getting
mom
paid
into an
for it.
apartment, man. Finally, we had a 10-year
saw that.
goal.
Congrats, man.
Finally got her apartment right across the street from my house, so she's right
I'm
down
sure
the
she's
street.
listening to this right
Took
now.
me 10 years
Hi,
to
Mom.
be able to financially be able to
Hi,
do
Austin's
that.
mom.
And she's there, man. Now
Bro.
she's close by instead of 3 hours away
Yeah.
in Houston, and it's a beautiful feeling. All just from smacking some drums and singing some popular songs. So,
Bro.
yeah, I love you, Mom. Shout out, Mom. Love you, Mom.
Dude.
Shout out to moms.
Shout out to moms
Shout out to-
everywhere.
hi, Mom.
That deal with us banging on the drums for
You-
years
you want
after
some
years
meatloaf?
relentlessly, right?
dude,
Mom!
bro.
The meatloaf. Mom, where are the pizza rolls?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Bro, and it's like, yeah, man, you've worked hard to put yourself in the position you're at, bro, and it's like respect because, I mean, there's a lot of cats out here. There's a lot of cats doing different stuff. Some of them are doing like really incredible stuff. Some of them are doing. You're a cat out here eating and working and like making it, doing
Trying
it,
to be everywhere,
and not
man.
just even just making it, but like you're getting your, you know,
Yeah,
you
like
got your mom,
succeeding.
a
Yeah,
spot.
yeah,
Like,
trying, man.
It's
Try,
bro,
I'm almost.
and we're-
I'm almost around the 6-figure. If I can make 6 figures just doing this music thing, that's the goal. I mean, in Austin, it's tough to make a living and do this.
Yeah.
I mean, but I could sleep in my own bed every night and fill up my calendar and not have to go be on a sweaty tour bus with a bunch of dudes and all that. Like I can make my money locally and go home to my bed every night and just living the dream, man.
having that
Austin's
balance,
one of
man.
the few cities you can do that in. You can't do that
Yeah.
in Nashville, New York, or LA. Like it's really tough to. It's pay to play at a lot of those places.
Yeah.
So.
Big time.
And
Yeah.
then so I love the city. Chicago, maybe another one you could do it in. Maybe some
Yeah.
place in Florida, maybe. But like I love Austin and Central Texas, and that's why my
It's the
name's
spot,
Austin.
man.
I got here as quickly as I could. Born in Houston, but my name being Austin, I got here as quickly as I could. And then we
gotta
tell somebody,
sneak in before
"What's your
anyone
name?"
notices.
Austin. Oh, that's easy to remember. Or, that's so convenient. And I'm like, yep, exactly.
bro. Well, and
Hell yeah.
I just want to say, because I wish we had more time, but
Yeah.
we're kind of out of time here. But we appreciate you coming through to like, you know, because obviously
Anytime.
we're asking you to do some pro bono here, but we appreciate it. I'm like, do you think we got a million view reel from this one? Did we? Did we get
Time
a
can
hot
only
enough
tell.
take for that?
We
Time
might.
can only tell. That's right. There's some good
gotta be
nuggets
a
in
hot
there.
take.
I think talking about Rush, that's topical.
Yeah. Topical ointment. There's some topical
Yeah, a
ointment.
little
right
topical
there.
ointment, you know,
a
get
little
those
prep aid.
get the rash gone.
The rush rash.
The
Yeah,
rush rash,
exactly,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Anytime,
Well,
boys.
no,
It's been
yeah,
a pleasure.
I mean,
Thank y'all.
and
Hell yeah.
we'll certainly get you back, man. We'll have you again in the future, bro, and we appreciate you coming
Yeah.
through, bro. So we'll see you soon. We'll see you around, man.
I'm glad I could
check
be
out
here for this
Austin
one,
at,
too.
Absolutely, boys.
at
dude.
Latchkey
Hell yeah.
Tuesdays
Absolutely.
and
Latchkey Tuesdays, Augustine
Sundays.
Sunday evenings. That's right.
Augustine
Those are my
Sundays, and then just
residencies.
in the general places also. Maybe at a Spurs game.
You'll see me.
know,
Everywhere.
who knows?
Everywhere.
See Austin around
I'm
Austin.
everywhere, right? Austin and Austin.
Yo, Austin Baker.
Listen.
Thank you, bro.
That's it, boys.